All right, welcome back to another SLG Meetup, everybody. Your host Alvaro to bring you another super interesting guest, and for that is going to be our friend Brad Leavitt. He is the founder and president of AFT Construction. They are an award-winning GC in Arizona, and they specialize in commercial, residential, and retail. The projects are fantastic, and aside from that, they also have a really good podcast. I will say that it's called the AFT Construction Podcast, and we're head on head when it comes to episodes, and the topics that they discuss are phenomenal. So we're going to be talking about all different topics related to luxury when it comes to construction, and hope you all get to enjoy it. There he is. What's going on, Brad?
How you doing? Excited to be here.
Oh yes, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm
I
super
love the
excited. I've been a
background,
fan.
by the way.
What's
I love
that?
the background. I love your background. What do you have in there?
Oh, thanks. This is my office here in Scottsdale, and just a big sports fan, as you can see, and we actually had a football team for a while, so we have a little football trophy up here in the corner. So
I love that. I love that. Well, listen, Brad, thank you so much for joining us. I was making a quick intro about yourself. You're the president and founder of AFT Construction, award-winning GC in Arizona. I've seen some of the projects that you do, and for those that are tuning in right now or later on, please make sure that you follow Brad at AFT_construction. All the projects that you're showcasing are yours, and they're fantastic. I mean,
well,
so
thank you.
beautiful.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your story. What is it about AFT Construction and some of the projects that you're working on?
So quick background. I grew up in San Diego in Southern California, and just had a fascination for construction. My father and uncles were electricians. My grandfather, when he finished out of the Navy, started an electrical company. So grew up in the trades, loved construction, and was fortunate to work on some high-end projects there in San Diego, and then went to college, did construction management. In fact, that degree behind me is
there you go.
Yeah, construction degree, and then I moved to Phoenix in 2005. So I worked building here since '05, and then in 2013 started AFT Construction. And like any company, it takes a lot of work, right? It's slow growth. It takes time to start building name, reputation, and fortunately, these last few years we've been able to work on some remarkable projects. So,
well, I mean, I just gotta tell you, what you're doing is so beautiful, and I've been in Scottsdale, Arizona. I love playing golf there. I used to be in New Mexico, so all my little trips were going to Arizona because it's such a fun place. And no, I gotta say that from 2005, that is when you moved in there, until now, I'm sure you've seen tremendous growth, right?
oh, it's changed so much. It's funny. It's the growth has been amazing, especially now through COVID. So many people have relocated to Arizona. It's it's a little hot, truth be told, right now in the summer, but most of the year it's beautiful. A lot of great golf, a lot of hiking, a lot of activities, easy to travel to. So, our clients definitely love, especially winter homes. Great place to be in the winter.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say now, with all the changes that we've been facing the last 2 years, that you've experienced when it comes to the demand?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good question. The demand's changed a lot, right? We've seen more of a demand, and I'll even take this another step. We've been fortunate our last few years to work on homes that are more sustainable, building science.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we were fortunate to be selected to do the net zero home, which is off the grid, right? It's a building science house. It's the National Home of the Year here in Cave Creek, just north of Scottsdale. And so I find that customers now are a lot more savvy, right? They care about the environment. They care about the homes being sustainable. But additionally, they want amenities, right? I mean, when travel was shut down and you're stuck at home, whether it be a home office, whether it be the pool, gathering areas, to have people at your house, these are much more prevalent and important to people now. So we're finding customers asking for this. And it's fun for us to build because now you have that resort style at a house, right? And that's what you're seeing me post now with lazy rivers and go-kart tracks in the yard. I mean, just a lot of those fun things that, that I aspired to do with our team. So.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you're completely right. And I guess that space is the new luxury, right? A lot of people during that COVID phase, they were all, wanting to have their own space and their backyard with their pool and everything. So I'm sure you're getting a lot of those requests now.
Yeah, we are. And it's changed. I thought after the recession, it's funny because you asked about how it's changed. When I lived through the first recession, the housing crisis of 2008, 9, 10, and Phoenix was hit really hard. And I honestly thought, hey, these big houses, no one's going to do them anymore. But we're seeing that regeneration, right? It's happening now, and mostly because people are like, hey, if there's another lockdown, if something comes up, I want to have my safe place at home. And part of that goes back to that sustainability, right? I want a home that has great lighting, has great air filtration, water filtration, these things for healthy lifestyle, which is really important.
No, absolutely. And when it comes to your projects, I mean, it has something very unique, right? It's all very beautiful, well done, and it's very attractive. But you've also mastered when it comes to the content, because what you said, it takes time to build a reputation. It takes time to build a brand and a company. But now we are, I guess, very lucky enough to have access to technology that allows us to reach a larger audience. And as long as you can master that game, you'll be able to reach more potential clients in a faster way than traditionally. And you currently have like also over 100,000 followers. You have amazing content, great engagement. So what it is that would you say has helped you reach that level?
That's a good question. I think it's partners such as yourself, right? That it's, networking with other professionals here on these platforms, building a camaraderie, building a network, that reciprocity. It's the same thing, right? If I support my fellow contractors, architects, designers, they'll do the same thing. But what I found is not only from the content, not only can you build this amazing community, because let's be realistic, real estate, right? Construction, architecture, design, these are hard businesses.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we do that people don't realize, that aren't in the industry. And so just understanding challenges people are having in other markets, Instagram, LinkedIn has opened up those channels. Additionally, when you speak about marketing, I mean, this is now an opportunity where we can, network with clients, right? Potential clients that may move to Scottsdale and build that brand, build that reputation, and that, and that's a big thing. People ask me, they're like, well, Brad, when you think about budgets, okay, well, it's really easy to speak about sustainability or net zero or like these building science things, but how do you get the customer to pay for that? And the reality is, through these channels, we can educate them. We can show the process. We can show the how we get to it, the cost of it, why we're doing it, the benefits of it. And there's going to be people that gravitate to that, through that education, because, you're just trying to be, the more educational you can be on the platform, the more beneficial it is.
100%. No, well said. When it comes to your business, I mean, there's a lot of years already in the business. So I'm sure you've come across really interesting scenarios that have teach you a lot. So tell me what's been like the biggest lesson that you've learned all those years?
I think there's a lot of ways I can go with this. I think a big thing is when you think about expectations, right? Like setting clear expectations with clients. Anytime we get sideways, I've done a bad job, setting clear expectations and then managing those. Specific example, this has changed our process. One thing for me is I'm really big on interior designers, right? That we have to have an interior designer with every project. The reason being, 4 years ago, we were doing a project. We kind of went outside of that stipulation to have a designer. And what ended up happening is the project took way too long. It was always contentious with the client and, us, to get answers, get selections. It delayed construction. And so what we found was that when you deviate, right, from those practices or your operations, it can create issues. And this goes back to the expectations. And so I found that, lesson learned, having the right design team, being involved in the beginning, especially now when you're dealing with supply chain, inflation, cost, if we can put that team together, design properly, organize, purchase, plan, schedule, contract, these are things we can do that now make the project go, a lot more smooth.
No, wow. Yeah, that's good. And sometimes we forget about it, but those are some of the fundamentals in order for you to really thrive on the business. So very good. Thanks for sharing that. Another question I have for you, Brad, and this is something that, I was being asked in the past, and I was like, that's a good question. I will ask that to my next guest. And here you are. How do you sell yourself?
Another good question. So I'll give another good example. And this was a great lesson to me. So fortunately, this was it was pre-pandemic. So it's probably 3 years ago, I think. I was able to attend on LinkedIn. They had held like a LinkedIn global conference out in New York. And so I attended this conference, and there was a female there who was on the panel with me. And she made a comment, and I've said this example before, but she said, and this is her perspective, not mine, right? But she said, as a female, I'd get on LinkedIn and I felt that I had to have like my makeup done. I had to be all perfectly, dressed and prepared for the day. And I'd hold my video up and I'd take this video about, whatever she was speaking about. And then she realized, you know what? Why? Like, I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to post in the morning when I wake up, no makeup. Maybe I do have makeup later in the day when I'm ready. And so really what she was saying was, so many times we try to be someone we're not, right? And the reality is, like, there's some comfort getting behind the camera, but what I found is you have to build that personality. You have to showcase who you are. And I found that the more time I spend, showing not only just our systems and processes, but my personality, like what drives me, what motivates me, what I enjoy, sports. I love golf. I'll post pictures of golf, and then people that like golf are like, hey, Brad, let's get out and play.
Yeah.
So you just start to build this persona. And so I would challenge anybody that don't worry about having the most perfect video or the most perfect lighting. Just get out there, be yourself, and people will take that, they'll appreciate that, and it'll help build your brain.
Wow. No, I love that, because the authenticity is really what resonates with the people, right? They want to see the real you. So I love that you say that, because I've had this conversation with a lot of the people, and we obviously, us in Super Luxury Group, we focus on celebritizing homes. So we work with a lot of influencers and public figures. And it's about that dilemma, on how you really make sure your audience gets captivated and really follows through your journey. And you cannot fake waking up. Like, you start being the authentic you. It makes the whole transition easier. Otherwise, it's too much. You cannot just have your perfect version all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, very, very good. Now, this question is something that is very broad, right? It comes in all different shapes and forms. But the word luxury, what really means for you?
I think luxury, it means different things for different people, right? But for me, you think about the luxury experience. So it's not so much maybe a level 5 or, high-end metallic finish on a wall. I think luxury, when you think about a luxury product, well, what is that experience? If you're going into Louis Vuitton, just that white glove service, that care, right, as they're sit down and you have the sales associate, and then the packaging as you take this, and you have, it's like this amazing gift, you open your Louis Vuitton, not that I have one, but you know what I mean? And same thing, like if even something like Apple, right? Apple's a great product, they're packaging that experience. And so luxury is that experience, right? And so many times in our industry, especially in construction, that's completely lost, even on the high-end side. How can we make this a more hands-on luxury, red carpet, white gloves? How do we communicate? How are we setting expectations? How are we delivering a quality product? And so it's more the process and not just the finished result. And a lot of times as business owners, we lose sight of that.
That's you said it right there. And I think the experience is what really makes, the word luxury being actually something luxury. So with that being said, what is something that you've implemented in your services that have really made you stand out from the competition when it comes to that experience?
Good question. So something we did, so as I mentioned previously in this conversation, we always have a designer and an architect and, our client, right, that's involved in the process. So now we do these very personal videos. So every Friday, instead of just sending an email like, here's the update on the project, a lot of my clients are from out of state. Being in Scottsdale, we have a lot from all over the country. So more than half of my clients don't live here full time. So every Friday, my superintendent that's on the job, we have a group text chain. So we'll have the architect, the designer, and our client. And they send out a video, and this video is walking through the house. Here's what took place this week. Here's what's upcoming in the next 3 weeks. And it's very personal. So it's amazing. So I have these clients from South Dakota, and the husband told me, he said, Brad, I was asking him his next visit. This was last year, actually, because this is a 2-year build. And I said, hey, when are you coming out? He said, Brad, in May, I figured I'd come out pretty often, but you guys are so communicative. It's so great that I'm not coming out to October.
No need.
Yeah, I'm not coming out to October. And the funny thing is my superintendent has posted a video every week for over a year now with this client. Wow. And he missed one. He missed one because he was out of town. And so on Saturday, the client's like, Paul, where's my video?
Where's my video?
And so but it's the personal side. So you think about this, it's just hearing the voice, hearing the candor, the temperament of, and here's the progress, here's what's happening. It's just a lot more live shot to what's happening.
Well, great advice, and especially good reminder, because sometimes we forget that we have a device that allows us to connect to much deeper levels, and we don't utilize a quarter of it. We just send like a regular email, where you can actually do a video walking through and connect directly with your client, with your friends, with whoever you're working with. And
yeah, it's a great reminder for
And
all of us.
here's the problem. Like the reality is with text or email, you can't understand tone or sarcasm. Not that you want to be sarcastic, but just the emotion behind it. But if you're doing a video, and that's why going back to that service, like even text, when I text clients or my team, I do voice text, through iPhone, I do voice text a lot because understanding tone is a big part of communication. And that's something that's often lost.
No, well said. And I agree 100% with you. So obviously I need to remind myself sometimes about that. There is something about the videos that I can resonate so much with you. I started to do this exercise daily of, thanking people that are in my circle just for 10 minutes, no more. I just take 10 minutes of my time in the morning to go through my list of people in my life and thank them, for whatever reason resonates more with me.
I love it.
And at some point I was like, I want to change that and I want to start doing videos instead. And the feedback that you receive from sending something so beautifully instead of from a text, from a video, it's like, wow, so I think like video
it's huge.
Has something really beautiful that connects souls. So no, great set. And I really enjoyed the conversation. I know that it's still early in Arizona, so I want you to keep on going with what you have going on. I just wanted to wrap this up by saying that I really appreciate your time and all the information that you've shared, and to encourage everybody watching or listening to this to please follow Brad at AFT_construction. Is there any other better way to communicate with you for any questions they might have?
Alvaro, that's perfect. Yeah, they can communicate. I run our social media. So like if they want to ping me on LinkedIn, I'm Brad Leavitt, pretty simple. And then all other social media is AFT Construction, including the podcast. So pretty easy to find us.
Amazing. Well, I want to thank also everybody that is tuning in during this live and that will see this later. We appreciate all your support. Make sure you also show some love to Brad.
Thank you.
Anything else that you would like to share before we finish this up?
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the connection. Again, that's the value that we always talk about these social media. As much as some people may not appreciate that aspect, that it's a connector. And the more like you and I connect, Alvaro, and others, right? It opens up channels of who knows where our paths will cross again, you and I, opportunities that come from that. I mean, you never know. And it's just from you pinging me saying, hey, Brad, will you come on? And just those simple interactions turn into other things,
No, absolutely. And look, I'm sure that if I ever go to Scottsdale, Arizona,
hit me up. We're golfing.
Oh my God. I used to golf a lot when I used to be in Dominican Republic in Cap Cana in this golf course called Punta Espada, #1 golf course in the Caribbean in Mexico. If you haven't been, I invite you to be my guest in there because it's such a beautiful course. Even if you come here to Miami, there is also some nice golf courses that we can play on. So
I'll hit you up when I'm in Miami next time. And when you're in Scottsdale, let me know. We'll go play.
Yeah, some golf and business.
Yes, a little bit of both.
All right. Well, thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll see each other soon.
Talk soon. Thank you.